name's Morgan. In 2006, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in women and gender studies. Next year will mark 20 years since I graduated. It's been a long and windy journey, but I've come to the extremely challenging conclusion that my degree was a mistake, and I'm in the process of trying to make sense of it.
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel.
City boy! City boy!
The Morgan Flores is the TikTok channel. If you want to go visit her TikTok, it's right here in the top. If you want to read it out, the Morgan Flores or Flores. It's almost like Latin, like Flores. I don't know. Prologue. Why I did a women and gender studies degree in the early 2000s. And hold on, what is it? Why I did a women and gender studies degree in the early 2000s and why I did it. What I've learned, what I've regretted, what should not have happened. Y'all here for it, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm Black Pegasus. Link to my other channels in the description. Let's hear it from Morgan herself. I don't even know what a gender studies degree is. Because I thought gender was a social construct. So, gender studies degree, does it have anything to do with biology? Let's find out, you guys. Let's find out together.
My name's Morgan. In 2006, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in women and gender studies. Next year will mark 20 years since I graduated. It's been a long and windy journey, but I've come to the extremely challenging conclusion that my degree was a mistake, and I'm in the process of trying to make sense of it. I spent 4 years pursuing this degree in earnest. I believed I was doing the right thing at the time. I want to take full responsibility for my decision, but at the same time, acknowledge real issues about what I experienced.
Hold up, man. Hold up, dog. Every time we hear someone on this channel say they're willing to take full accountability, I got to get them the air horn. Shout out to you, Morgan. Respect. Straight up. We going to see where this story goes and see if she takes accountability, but we all got to take accountability because that's just going to get us to the finish line. It just is what it is. Shout out to you. That's dope. All right, let's see what else she has to say. Bring it back a little bit.
Responsibility for my decision, but at the same time, acknowledge real issues about what I experienced. I really want to share things in a way that's not black and white. And at the same time, I just don't want to gaslight myself anymore. I believe that being someone who did this degree, I have the right to talk about it. I'm sharing my experiences and what I learned since, what I've been learning. The best sense I can make now, the overarching story, is that I was very young and insecure, full of anxiety when I got to college in 1999. I didn't feel power in myself. I was very shy, and I was looking for empowerment for myself, and college is not the place to be looking for that. College should be preparing people to find jobs, to find out what their strengths are, and to figure out the best path. Nothing's a sure thing, but I ended up in that degree. I can share how I got there. I'm gonna break the story down bit by bit. And so what happened was,
I wonder what her relationship is like with her father. You know, her going to college, seeking all those things. I wonder if her father was in her life. And it's not that you can have a father in your life and still be insecure and self-conscious and stuff like that. Like, I had both my parents in my life, and I was super shy. It's crazy that I talk for a living, you know, and I became a rapper. But when I was young, I remember I was so shy. I remember this one time we went to Burger King, and I would have my brother order for me because I was just so shy on talking to people and stuff. It makes no sense that I do what I do now. However, And I'm not trying to gaslight, say, oh, she's another female that didn't have a strong father. I am honestly just curious. That's it. You know what led, because my thing is like, if my children want to go to college, I want to have conversations about it, right? I probably, with everything I've learned about college, I probably ain't footing the bill. I rather put the money into investments that'll compound for them in a trust than put them pay for college, because college is a freaking joke and a nightmare from everything I've seen. And I will tell my kids that. And honestly, I believe you can get your education for free on Chat GPT now. If you were just dedicated, like Chat GPT is like a textbook, you know. I'm not saying you have the foresight to understand what to I mean, you could probably, by the time they're going, my kids are 6 and 1, dog. Chat GPT is a beast right now. So don't ever think I'm advocating for them to go to college, to get indoctrinated, to get all this bullshit, to get wrecked financially. You want to go to college and you got a scholarship, dope. If not, I'm going to do everything in my power to try to help create an environment where they understand independence, entrepreneurship, etc. But also, like, there has to be an extreme balance because they're women. I want them to be feminine. And, you know, if they want to be like their mother and be a home mom, like a housemaker, I want to try to help vet, you know, the dating process. I just want to be very hands-on and active with my kids' life. And I don't give a flying F what one person says in these comments about, I don't care. If people say I'm controlling, obsessive, whatever, yep, this is my bloodline. This is my lifeline. And I'll be there for them at every capacity possible, period. And I was just curious, you know, if she had anyone that's because, you know, my kid's going to college. I'm gonna be there. Like, why are you taking a gender studies course? What does this do? Hey, hold up. Hey, let's talk about this. Like, hey, something, you know, like, what's up? That's just me, though.
I was looking for empowerment for myself, and it was sort of this long, slow bait and switch kind of situation where instead of empowerment, I was presented with this overarching theory of everything that explains everything and connects everything to everything. And the conclusion was, every step along the way, was that everything was pretty much bad. Society, the way everything, I mean, I'm being vague on purpose, but the conclusions were, every step along the way, all the connections that were being made in this grand theory of everything is wrong and bad and had been a mistake, and there's a large group of people that are in a lesser place because of it. And finally, really, when I ended that degree, I believed that there was no hope. And that was the conclusion. My takeaway from this program was that it was all throughout everything and there was nothing I could do about it. So I don't believe that's helpful at all. I don't believe it's nuanced, but I don't believe it's accurate. So if you found my way to my page, I hope you stay along. And you know, this is gonna take some time to talk about. I may make some videos that are purposely provocative to try to, like, I just want to help people. It's taken a long time to wind my way out of the deep depression that I was in after I finished my Women and Gender Studies degree in 2006. My name's Morgan. In 2000,
This is wild. What's interesting is she talks really soft, and it almost, like, I feel like a timidness in her voice that sells this story for me. Now, when we get on TikTok, there's people just on here trying to get famous, trying to get attention, but then there's some really authentic and real conversations. I'm being sold that this is real and authentic, but every now and then you do get a couple to get by you and trick you. But it seems like she really been through it, in the sense of going to college, you know, getting a getting a gender studies degree is crazy work, dog. Like, that's wild. I honestly thought that was a joke from the right wing pundits, if I'm being honest, because they always say, like, what do they say? They say, yeah, you got your underwater basket weaving degree. And I'm like, oh, they're effing around. There's no such thing, you know, a gender studies. I never know. I never know because I didn't go to college, man. And I'm not above people who did go to college. I I walk this unique balance because I've always been somewhat, I will just say, academically challenged. Yo, son. So it's like, I have my insecurities and points where I'm like, damn, I know a lot in a lot of circles I'll go in. I might not be the smartest person in the room. However, I just move a certain way. I try to get information that serves me and utilize it to the best of my ability. I'm resourceful. I'm connective. I'm a communicator, and I use my strengths um, to my advantage, and just try to be a good person. This is unfortunate. I wonder if she has anything else on her channel. Now I'm kind of curious because I'm like, that's pretty well. Okay, let's see what this. I want to say. Hold on.
Just want to say, as someone who did a women and gender studies degree in the early 2000s, I say this with full compassion. Where where is the patriarchy? Like, where is it? If you're just sitting here alone in your room, where is it? Just want to say,
This one kind of made me feel like she's kind of losing it. Bro, I'm like, I've never wanted to do a deep dive on someone's TikTok. She's actually kind of interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know what it is here. Anyways, that's wild. That's crazy work. I wonder how. Actually, let's see real quick. Let's see real quick. Let me get on. Let's see if it'll talk back to me first. Check 1 2. I have a question for you. If you went to college in the early 2000s and you ended up getting a gender studies degree and you graduate with your gender studies degree in the year 2006 without a scholarship and just at a regular type of college, not a community college, but a university or whatever, how much would that cost you? I just need an estimate. Doesn't have to be exact.
Sure thing. Let's ballpark it. If you were going to a standard four-year university in the early 2000s without a scholarship, tuition and fees were definitely cheaper than they are now, but still not exactly low. For a public in-state university, you might have paid around $5,000 to $7,000 per year in tuition back in the early 2000s. For a public out-of-state or a private university, you could be looking at something more like 15 to 25K per year. So if you went to a typical public university as an in-state student, a four-year degree might have run you roughly 20 to 30K in tuition total. For a private school, or if you were out of state, you might be looking more like 60 to 100K total over 4 years. Obviously, that's just tuition, living expenses and books are extra, but for just tuition, that should give you a decent ballpark for 2006.
Like I said, that's crazy work. So if she went out of state, there's a potential that this degree cost her. I mean, that's just tuition. Let's add in, the expenses that they didn't, so you're looking at $100 to maybe $150,000 loan with whatever type of interest rate you got. That's the high end. On the low end, if you stayed in state, you're looking closer to like, 30, like you could just stay with your parents. You don't have to get room and board and stuff. So you are actually looking closer to 20, maybe at the high end 50, which I feel like a 50 grand loan is just like buying a car. Most people, I've never bought a car for that much ever. I've never wanted to be in debt. So I've always paid off my cars early. Unfortunately, I don't own a home. I rent. But everything I'm just in no debt. I do not revolve in debt. So that's interesting. But $50,000 for the average person, the average person has a 30, 40. Men get these crazy $60,000, $70,000 trucks. So that's pretty common, but having something over your head that's 100,000 or more for something that looks like it's not advantageous to your life at all is crazy work. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about all this. Ha holla.
City boy, city boy.